Thank you very much for coming out this morning. My name is Carl Nathy with the University of Kentucky Office of Public Relations and Marketing. It's my privilege and honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this morning, yet another historic day in the history of this institution. I want to welcome all of you once again and announce that the Office of Naval Research has awarded a $4.2 million grant to the University of Kentucky College of Health Sciences to study performance optimization and injury prevention in the U.S. military's Special Ops Forces. This grant coincides with the establishment of the University of Kentucky Sports Science Research Institute, which will benefit the tactical athletes of the U.S. military, athletes of all ages, and all Kentuckians seeking a healthier lifestyle. Now, it is my privilege to introduce a person who's now in his fifth year at the helm of the University of Kentucky, our 12th president. Please welcome Dr. Eli Capilouto.
Thank you, Carl, and thank all of you for being here. So today we celebrate a new vehicle that strengthens the University of Kentucky's commitment as a flagship land-grant research university. As the university for Kentucky, our research and scholarly endeavors offer the brightest hope for transformation for our Commonwealth and the broader world we serve. This award, the largest ever received by the College of Health Sciences, reflects our vision because it supports interdisciplinary approach to basic science in a way that addresses community issues. Musculoskeletal injuries are common during the demanding training course for military personnel, as well as during combat. The short-term and long-term effects of such injuries include loss of active duty time, financial impacts, and the adverse effects on the overall health of military personnel. These soldiers say they want to be able to play ball with their kids, and because of what we do, when they retire, they're going to be able to do so. This work will help support the brave souls on the front line, the men and women who defend our country. What we learn through this work will also help Kentuckians of all ages and from all walks of life. The scholarship and discovery, the creation of knowledge, emboldened by a nearly $4.2 million grant, will keep UK at the leading edge of addressing challenges relevant to Kentucky, and I'm sure it's going to be an impact heard around the world. Now, we are here, as I like to say, on a day of success because of lots of mothers and fathers. And I want to start with thanks to many of them. First, Provost Tracy for his leadership and guidance and work on behalf of this important achievement. And then next, I think this is sort of a vintage day. Because, at one time we were known as Kentucky A&M. So today we have two partners, Kentucky A&M Athletics and Medicine, who got together to support this endeavor. So our athletics department, represented by Mark Hill, is once again a partner for progress on this campus. In so many ways, large and small, UK athletics collaborates with campus. And if you haven't noticed, there's a $120 million academic science building coming up on the corner over there of Rose and Hugulett, and athletics is funding 2/3 of that exciting endeavor. And I also want to thank UK Healthcare and Mike Karp, because when we were in the midst of recruiting Scott, he stepped forward and was crucial in our success in landing him. And of course, we're deeply grateful to have Dean Scott Lephart as part of the UK family. Having only arrived on campus in February, he's shown incredible leadership in our College of Health Sciences. So we are expecting $4 million every 7 or 8 months. It's a great pace to stay on. So we are touched and inspired by the work he conducted at the University of Pittsburgh, and we are fortunate to have him continue his research at UK. So thank everybody. I know many people in this room had a hand in making this announcement possible today. We look forward to the results of UK's Sports Science Research Institute and this important grant. Thank you.
Thank you, President Capilouto. Mark Hill is in his 17th year here at the University of Kentucky and in his 5th year in his current role as Executive Associate Director of Athletics. Mark serves as the primary administrator for the football program and also oversees the internal operations of UK athletics, including business and accounting, human resources, event and facility operations, capital projects, sports turf, sports equipment, and the area from which he rose to this position, strength and conditioning. Please give a warm welcome to Mark Hill.
Thank you, Carl. Thanks, Dr. Capilouto, Dr. Leppard. It's great to have you on campus, and Dr. Karf as well. Most of you don't know, or either don't recall, that I did come to UK as the Director of Strength and Conditioning back in 1999. And I spent a little over a decade working with our student athletes on a daily basis, working to help prevent their injuries and increase their performance. Most of us, myself included, never reach our genetic potential, but that's what the job is of the strength and conditioning staff we have in athletics. All that we do is based on the science, the research, and all of the information that's gathered in laboratories such as the one that's being announced today. And we're grateful to have Dr. Leppard and his staff yet to come here on our campus. Just as Dr. Capilouto mentioned, he and Mitch Barnhart have showed great collaboration, have a great partnership, and that's been demonstrated very well through the academic science building that's already been discussed. This Sport Research Institute is another great example of how athletics and academics can work towards the common goals. The cutting-edge methodologies that will come out of this lab are all the ones that I used to read about in the mid-'80s and early '90s as I was getting into this business. We can now have those within a mile of our athletes. We can use our athletes to help with the research. We can take that research and apply it directly to the field so that we can move forward quickly. So it's easy for me to be selfish and be excited about that piece of it, but the real excitement is the partnership and the work we can do for the military that we have here in the United States of America. So it's much, much larger than us beating Missouri or winning ball games. The Institute will have far-reaching effects on the increasing performance and stamina of those that defend our country on a daily basis. There's no question that this research institute can have benefits far beyond Lexington and far beyond the University of Kentucky, and we're grateful to be able to impact the lives of the soldiers and those that serve us both home and abroad. So congratulations again to Dr. Capilouto, Dr. Leppard, and Dr. Karf. We're grateful for the partnership, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Well done, Mark. As you've heard, Scott Leppard is the new Dean of the University of Kentucky College of Health Sciences and also endowed chair of orthopedic research. He does come to us from the University of Pittsburgh, where he led research into injuries in the military during his 27-year tenure there. Dr. Leppard will provide some more details about what we're announcing today, the grant from the Office of Naval Research, and how the SSRI will impact members of the military, athletes, and all Kentuckians. Dean Leppard.
Thank you, Carl, and thank everybody for being here today. I would just like to start with some acknowledgments as well. President Capilouto, Provost Tracy, Dr. Karp, Mr. Hill, as well as my colleagues in the College of Health Science and the College of Medicine, for facilitating the opportunity to bring this research to UK, establishing a world-class research institute that will be integrated across our wonderful campus. The entire institution in the healthcare enterprise at UK will take a global leadership in the position of sports medicine and sports science research based on this commitment that these gentlemen have made. United States Special Operators trained to become small teams of elite warriors, expected to be at peak performance in extremely dangerous and unpredictable situations during their mission to preserve our national security. There is absolutely no room for sustaining preventable injuries that marginalize their safety and their effectiveness. That is why our work for the past 15 years with the United States Department of Defense is so mission critical. Our research, based on more than 2 decades of studying elite athletes, has resulted in preventing injuries and improving the human capital in these elite warriors by adapting their preparation, the techniques, and their training strategies. This grant, as others have suggested, is to study the United States Marine Corps Special Operations, and it coincides with the establishment of the UK Sports Science Research Institute. It will be a 600 square foot facility with state-of-the-art technology, enabling us to evaluate musculoskeletal health and performance, physiological adaptations, neurocognition, among other physical and psychological parameters to prevent and treat injuries, concussions, and improve capacity. Our technology, similar to that in the animation industry, enables us to create three-dimensional models that replicate injuries in the laboratory, that enable us to mitigate risk factors for those injuries. The data enables us to develop intervention protocols designed to reduce the likelihood of sustaining these injuries, as well as establishing improved techniques and strategies for restoring function following injuries. And while musculoskeletal injuries are prevalent, concern has grown recently about the long-term impacts of concussions, both in our athletes and our soldiers. Partnering with the current expertise at UK, our neurocognitive research approach will explore better ways to assess and treat people with brain injury. 8 new faculty members will join me at UK to continue our research. 2 have already joined me in the College of Health Science. Dr. John Apt and Nick Hebner arrived in August and will serve as the director and manager of the Sports Science Research Institute. 3 other UK faculty members are already operating our U.S. Marine Corps Special Operation Command Research Center at Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina, while 3 additional faculty members will join us in Lexington in the spring of 2016. The protocols we develop address metabolism, musculoskeletal health and rehabilitation, neurocognitive health and function, all of which are relevant to the peak performance of the tactical athlete on the battlefield and the more traditional athlete on the playing field. This research will extend beyond these populations to serve our youth, to serve our seniors in the Commonwealth, participating in sport and exercise as part of their balanced and healthy lifestyle. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Scott. And you know, we don't get people like Scott Lephart to come to the University of Kentucky without the great leadership that we have, not only Dr. Capilouto and Mark Hill with Mitch Barnhart and UK Athletics, but also just the kind of people that we've been bringing to the University of Kentucky. It demonstrates that this is a place where people really want to be. Also, partners in this, helping to make this happen, is a good relationship with our legislative community, both in the state legislature and nationally. I want to thank Tyler White from Andy Barr's office for being here, District Director, and his staff for Congressman Barr representing him this morning. And also, I'd be remiss, we have, as you note, some people in uniform in here, Major Krupp from Army ROTC, Colonel Ard, and his staff here from the Air Force ROTC, so we appreciate this is truly a team effort. And speaking of a team effort and a team leader, our final speaker this morning has been one of the reasons we've been attracting this kind of research and these kind of people. His name is Dr. Michael Karp. He is our Executive Vice President for Health Affairs. He came to UK from UCLA 12 years ago, he actually spent quite a bit of his career at the University of Pittsburgh, so he knows what Pittsburgh's all about, and we'll forgive him. I think he's still a Steeler fan, aren't you?
Absolutely.
All right. As is Scott, I'm sure. But they're both heavily UK Wildcat fans, and that's why we love to have them. Absolutely. As I say, he came to UK from UCLA 12 years ago with a commitment to create an advanced academic medical center that would provide the highest level of care for citizens from all over our state. And not only are we drawing patients from all over our state now, under his leadership, UK has grown into a regional referral center that treats patients with the most complex medical problems from Kentucky and beyond. We're becoming known as one of the top academic medical centers in the United States. Please welcome Dr. Karp.
I almost have one of these injuries that we need to prevent. Good morning. I'm quite certain that this research is quite important in its own right, but I think that the generalized application of this knowledge will in fact be what's critically important to Kentucky and beyond. Because I think what comes out of this research will certainly help our high school students and other athletes. I suspect it'll help other folks who are interested in good health and conditioning. As I've gotten to know Scott, Scott tells me that having two dogs drag you around in the morning is not the best way to get into condition. He thinks that there are other ways that I can try to stay in shape and have the potential for less injuries. Because of the applicability of this, Scott will in fact lead a research effort at the medical center that will involve orthopedics and rehab medicine so that they too can benefit from the kind of research that he does and the kind of people that he brings here. It'll even have broader applications. Last week, Scott visited the Child Development Center, and his team will be providing services there and doing research and how to deal with children with special needs. And there's even some consideration of a unit for NICU graduates, these tiny little babies that spend a long time in an intensive care unit, how to help them condition and how to help them develop better and better. So this is the way an academic medical center takes translational research and then translates it into benefit for the community. This is a wonderful partnership with the College of Health Sciences, and I think Scott will bring other colleges into this process. And I do think this will have really very significant implications, not only for the military, where they're critical, but for everyone in Kentucky and beyond. Thank you for coming to Kentucky, Scott.
Thanks, Dr. Karp. At this time, we'd open it up to members of the news media for any questions that you might have. Anybody have a question? I'm sure our guests, our speakers, will be available for individual interviews. No questions. Well, thank you all for coming for this important announcement, and we look forward to what comes out of this special Sports Science Research Institute at the University of Kentucky. Thanks. Have a great day.